Hello everyone, and welcome to this new webinar, How to Unlock Insights from 10,000 Convo in Minutes.
Hey everyone.
So we are just going to wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes, the time for people to join the webinar. And I see that we have like some familiar faces. Hi Hugo. Hi Corinne. Hi Paolo. Hi Sabine. Hey David. Up. Hi Jaime. Maybe let's wait just 1 minute and then we can start.
Yes, I confirm, Paolo. Pressing it, please.
Yeah, maybe a quick intro. I think like I know most of us in the room probably already know us, but quick intro. I'm Pierre. I'm one of the co-founders at Claap, in charge of revenue. So I might have already interacted with like most people in the room, and this is Robin, my co-founder in charge of the product that we actually just lost. Okay, better. With a better background now.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe let's start. So hi everyone. So I'm super happy to do this webinar today. As you know, we released a couple of weeks ago a new feature called like Smart Table, whose idea is to basically help you extract insights from like hundreds of calls at the same time. And the purpose of this webinar is to introduce you this feature. So you have an idea of like what we are going to cover today. So we are going to cover like a few topics around this feature. So first, I'm going to just like for people that are not familiar with it yet, but do a quick demo of the feature, why we created it, and how it works. Then we are going to cover with Robin like the template creation process. There are like a lot of like cool things we've been building around that with like a template gallery, a new template generator. We are also going to cover the topic around automations because like insights, it's amazing, but if you cannot act on insights, okay, it's a bit disappointed. And at the end, I also cover like my top 3 use cases been like testing with our customers so far. And of course, there is like the chat at the top right. So if you have any question, really like let us know. Or either like if you've been like testing the feature and you have like some feedback, really feel free to ask any question that you have. Maybe quick intro about the smart tables. So smart table, maybe in a few words, so what it is. So as you can see, it's kind of a new way to extract insight from multiple calls at the same time. So it's a dynamic table where one row equals one call and a column is a way to basically visualize and display all your call insights. Why it matters? 2 reasons. The first one is, as you know, we have this way to extract insights with insight templates for now almost a year. But it's pretty hard to basically check all the insights because you need to go to each call one by one. So it's really a way to track all the insights at scale with a spreadsheet-like experience. And what we've noticed is that it's perfect for call scoring, coaching, to extracting insights, but also to build automations using those insights. We've been testing this feature for like almost 2-3 months with our top customers. And the benefits we saw, 3 of them. The first one is really a way to review multiple calls in seconds. And this is why it's really, really helpful if you are using that, for example, for call coaching, like you've been implementing a new sales methodology like Spice and MEDDIC, and you want to do coaching using that. The second benefit is really about having structured data at scale. You don't need to go to each call one by one, and you can really extract insights from hundreds of calls at the same time. And the last benefit that we saw, it's really about also being super flexible in terms of data that you can really visualize and filter and extract from the different calls. So to start with, I'm just going to show you the feature so you have an idea of how it looks like. So this is my Claap workspace. Probably let me remove the slide. So normally you should be able to see the product right now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So 2 things. So the smart table is basically a way to visualize call data across multiple calls. So one concrete example I can show you is with a customer success call. So for example, it will be a way to visualize all the calls that you have with customers. For example, to extract insights such as the level of churn risk, potentially the customer satisfaction, the risk, the opportunities, and so on. As you know, at the moment, we had like this feature to extract insights from automatically from your calls. So if you go to a specific recording in Claap, and if you click on the insights section, we've been having this place where you can apply a specific template to automatically extract structured data from the call. So for example, in this one, I'm using a spiced qualification template. So I'm going to extract information such as situation about the company, pain, but it can also be numbers such as size of the sales team, or even a select button like the CRM used. It was working very well, but at the same time, the feedback we kept having was, okay, it's great, but it's really, really hard to visualize this data across multiple calls. So what we introduce is basically a way to visualize this data across multiple calls. So this example with customer success, but it can also work with like the evaluation of qualification methodology and so on. I'm going to cover the top 3 use cases at the end. Right now, what I want to do with Robin is more to show you like the kind of the creation process of like those smart tables. But of course, like feel free to interrupt if you have like questions in the meantime. Robin,
Yeah.
I let you take the mic.
Yeah, thanks, Pierre. So let's start, and I let you confirm when you see my screen. Let's start with the template gallery. So the good news is that we know it can be hard to identify your needs and create your own templates. So that's why we decided like to do a curation of all the templates from our community. And so you can navigate this template gallery on templategallery.claap.io. And of course, there is a link also from the product. Do you confirm that you can see the screen, Pierre?
Yes.
Okay. So here we collected at this stage 52 templates, and we'll add more of them in the coming months. And basically, the way it works is, so you can see all your different templates that has been created, and you can search for them based on keywords, and you can also filter here. So for instance, if I want to focus on, let's say, sales templates, I can just click on sales. Let's say I want to identify, to work on churns. So it's more customer success, churn risk. It's a template that has been created by Jeremy, which is one of our dearest ambassadors. And basically the way it works, so you can click on it. What you're gonna see is, so like a quick description of the template, a quick overview of what it's looking like, and the context and the insights that are retrieved and generated thanks to this template. In case you are happy to use this template, it's pretty easy to do. What you need to do is to click on Use Template, and from here you have two options. You can either like copy the template to your clipboard. What we did is each template can be exported or imported as a JSON simple file. And so when you click on it, it's just going to click Copy to Clipboard, and you can export it in whatever template workspace you want, or you can also share it with someone else if you want to share it with like friends, colleagues, or on social media. So it's really like a template is defined by a simple text file. Another option is to click on Import Template to your Claap workspace, and then what it will do is automatically opening your workspace, and it's importing the template. So this is what is happening here, as you can see. So it takes a bit of time, and it's importing my churn risk template. You can see what you saw in the previous screen. And now I can either decide to edit it, add insights if I want to customize it a bit, or and I can basically create it when I'm good. So let's say I want to change, so to edit it, so I can edit the icon, the title, of course. So the community, let's say. To differentiate. I can also edit, as I said, the different insights. Let's say I want to update this section. So here you can see that this section is not tied to any CRM field. So there is no CRM field enrichment. And if I want to do so, of course, like I need to previously or beforehand connect my CRM. But then I can decide to fill any of these fields in the CRM with this automatically generated template. So I won't do it here, but you get the idea. You can define the type. So the good thing with templates is just not just generating text. It's really generating structured data type according to what you want for your integration and use cases. So you can decide to extract bullet points with like timestamps, a simple paragraph, checkbox, which will return in like true, false, a date, if it's, for instance, to identify the date of a project or a deal or whatever. You can have select and multi-select. It will pick a value within a list. So this is what we have here. It will pick a value based on what is found in the meeting between low, middle, and high, and so on. So you have, as you see, also there are numeric, rich text, and so on. You have the prompt. So here we crafted the prompt as part of this template, or Jeremy crafted this prompt, but of course you can change it. You can learn more about prompting here, and we give some or 2 cents, I would say, to really like optimize the prompting. What you can do as well, so I won't change here because I'm pretty happy with this. So you can create other insights. Before the creation, what you can do is you can also test it. And I strongly encourage you to test your templates to see what it's going to look like with real data. So let's say I want to record to pick a recording. I don't know, let's say I think we have a linear.clap demo. I can select it. So it has been selected. I can select up to 3, but I pick 1 for this example. And then it's going to extract and show you what it looks like with a specific recording. So it takes a while. Insights are being generated. So here you can see, so here the churn risk is high. You have the identified risk, the remediation plan, the customer verbatim, and so on. And what you can do when you're good is either like test something else, or you can, if you are good with the test, you can simply leave this test mode and create the template. So here in this case, I click on create template, and you can see that my template has been created. So next step is I will also show you how to create your own template if you don't want to rely on the template from the community. So you just have to click on add template, as I said. And here you have 4 options. One is generate with AI, create from blank. So from blank is really the previous mode that we had, and some of you might have seen it already. So you really need to fill everything from scratch on your side. Import template, you just need to paste the JSON I was mentioning at the beginning. And here you can also access the community template. Here in this example, I want to show you the generate with AI. Let's say I have a case. I'm an hiring manager, and I want to assess my candidates. For my, I don't know, first screening call or screening interview. So you see, I really give the high level need. And when I click on generate, what's nice is this AI companion will create all the insights and context. So basically the whole template for you. Here I was really brief, but I could say I have this scorecard, and you could like paste your scorecard or the questions you want to check and so on. So there is candidate overview, role alignment, problem solving and critical thinking, communication skills, and so on. Say I want to remove overall recommendation, you can again edit, and when you're good, you can create your template. So this was for template creation. Any question, Pierre? I don't see the screen, but are there any questions in the chat? Or
it was one question from Sandro. Could it be that the color option of green, yellow, and so on is no longer possible when I use type select to sync to a CRM, so in this case, Salesforce. And it's true, like if you decide to sync an insight to a specific field in Salesforce, what we are going to do is that we are going to pick the same type and value that what you have in Salesforce. So for example, in Salesforce, if you have like something configured differently, it's going to pick this type of data. The color picker, what I've noticed is that it's really, really well adapted for scoring or for coaching, and if you want to visualize data in Claap. But if you are using template for more CRM enrichment, it's going to be more classical type of data, like text, paragraph, select, and so on.
It could also be numeric, for instance. This is precisely the objective, the fact that you can have a control on the data type generated. For instance, I don't know if you want to, the years of experience or the expected salary range or stuff like this. For the example of my hiring candidate case, then you can export it and create sums, average, and so on. So you can really work on your data set, whatever the data type it is. And that's really like the power of not just generating plain text all the time. All right. No other question so far?
No.
So next step here is we wanted to show you also the tables and how to automate.
I think you can go to the
revenue.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was not in the right one. Customer success. So here the idea is to show you how you can start automating your work and leveraging it. So the first step is to automate. So let's say I want to select my my linear call. I will see linear, let's say. As Pierre said, you can go in the insights and you can speak whatever you want. So here there is a churn risk and so on. So you can apply different templates and you can do it one by one. That's an option. But it's pretty heavy if you need to apply your template, everyone to each of your meetings. And so what we let you do is also, if you come back to the table, we let you automate template generation on given views, and you just need to click here, open automations. And here, for instance, you see that we generate auto insights for the recordings that are added in this customer success channel. And we generate customer success templates, SPICE coaching template, and BDC coaching. And so if I wanted to automate my churn template, I would just have to take my churn risk V community, and then by saving it, as you can see, it's going to create a new view. And when you click on the view, so here I will remove the search, and when you see that it creates all the columns. It's past data, so the data will be automatically retrieved for new recordings that are added in this view. If you want to retrieve data for past recordings, you can simply click here, extract churn risk for all rows, or if you want to do it one by one, you can do it here. It's just a way not to over-generate AI insights for previous meetings automatically. So here, what's nice, and let's say I want to take something that has already been generated. So I will take BDC coaching. You can see what it looks like. So you have all your columns filled. And what I wanted to show, if you want to go further, sometimes it's good to have insights and to visualize, of course, but you also want to deep dive. And let's say I want to know a bit more, to get a bit more context about, I don't know, what they think about AI at the moment at the client. What we can do is we can use the smart column. When I click here, what it's gonna do is gonna let me add like a prompt and an insight and retrieve the data as we did for insights, but I can do it on the fly. Here, it will add a column and automatically fill it with AI. And that's really helpful because it's a way for you to deep dive at scale on your recordings based on the questions you have and retroactively ask other questions and so on. And not only, relying on an automation with really fixed columns. So let's say I want to use smart column. I will add an insight here. For instance, I can create a new insight. But I will select this one. So did they mention anything about our AI features? Because I want to have some feedback on this, and then I could follow up with other questions. I will generate the preview to see what it looks like. Okay, and I can then add this smart column. So I will only do it with these 3 rows for now, for the example, for the sake of the example. But what you can see is it's creating a column. And it's really powerful because whatever your question is, you can add in a couple of clicks a new column that's gonna mine all your conversations and report your data really in just a few clicks. So any follow-up question could be interesting, whether you want to test and stress test your messaging, whether you want to explore basically new features, and so on and so on. In Claap, at Claap, I used it recently, for instance, to investigate if we wanted to develop a new mobile app. We know we had discussions about mobile apps for a while, but we never really captured that in a template in the CRM or something. And so this is all like sleeping learnings. And so what I did is just I went in our own list of deals, and I asked, would there be an interest in a mobile app at the client? You can get a yes, no. If you have a yes, you can deep dive. What are the pains? What is the willingness to pay, the budget, and so on and so on. So you can really explore based on all what has been discussed. Of course, you can do it in Claap AI if you want. So we have Claap AI. It's a chat that lets you ask anything to your call. So either all the sources or a specific. So for instance, if I want to ask something specific about linear call, I can, or I can do it at the workspace level. But what's powerful with what we are showing this table is it's really creating a specific answer for each of your calls. And so and each of your deals, each of your clients. So it's really more powerful to get advanced and comprehensive insights. The last part,
so one thing to add here is when you create your smart table, you really have control about the type of data you can display, and you can also display data coming from your CRM. So if you click on the edit column, and so for example, it can be something like the deal stage, the amount, or things like this. So typically, if you want to run analysis that combine, for example, in the example of Robin, the feature about Claap AI or about the mobile app, you can also link that to the pipe in your CRM that is concerned with this feature. So it becomes much more precise compared to just like a raw summary about all the calls, but without have any idea of analytics, amount, and so on.
Yeah, this is a good transition because, of course, the table is interesting and you can learn a lot from it. But the idea is also how to go to the next stage and really activate all this data for your own objectives and use cases. As Pierre said, one option is to enrich retroactively the CRM so that you can re-inject learnings in your CRM whenever like business questions pop up. We know that business doesn't wait. And so sometimes it's hard to really know in advance all what you need to extract from calls. And this is really how Claap differs from our competitors, because we really believe that you need to be able to rescan and remind all your discussions whenever you need it. But that's only the first option. The second option is also to basically work with the raw data as you want. And so for that, you can export the CSV. So it's just as it is, simple as it is. You're going to export all the raw data and you can do whatever you want if you want to have further analysis on your side. There is another option as well, which is rely on all this generation for automations, and in particular, like no-code automation or AI agents. AI agents need context to operate, automations as well. And so these templates can really be the extract data layer. And then you can push all this in your workflows. I will show you an example here. We are using an A10. We'll soon start working on an integrated, I would say, workflow builder within Claap. So far, we are relying on the webhook. And so if you want to use webhook or API to retrieve, access this data from your third-party solutions and no-code solutions, here is what you can do. So first, you can go in your settings. And here you can click on API and webhook. So really quick explanation. So API lets you retrieve calls data and query calls data, including insights whenever you want them on demand. Webhook, it's like event-based, and so they allow you to subscribe to notification when recordings are added or updated in this workspace. What does it mean precisely? Each time a recording is updated, in this case, this like an A10 workflow that I created myself is going to be triggered. I can create another workbook just for test, so I will name it community test. I will say I want to trigger it when a recording is added and when a recording is updated. I will enter my callback, so I will enter something fake for now. And you can see that it's creating my community test workbook, my community test webbook, sorry. So this webbook is really powerful. A way to leverage it, you can do it in any third-party solution you want. If I pick a specific example, I will provide after the webinar like a template that you can reuse and that you can adapt if you have other use cases. So basically, this template is assessing the risk of churn after a customer success call and pings the team in Slack with the level of risk, the risk, and the remediation plan. The workflow is really like simplified because you can adapt it again depending on your use case. And here is how it works. So you have a webhook within an A10, which is like Zapier or Make, just like a no-code builder. You could also use the webhook in Zapier if you are familiar with Zapier. When you click on the recording here, you can see that it calls this URL that I filled within the platform, the Claap platform, to create the webhook. And whenever there is an event, it's going to trigger this and give me all the data. And so in this case, you can see that I pinned the result of a test. Here is the payload of the webhook. And you can see that we retrieve all the data, including the transcript, the people within the call, and so on, but also all the insights of each insight template. So here, for instance, spiced coaching and so on. Based on that, like you can really build whatever you want. To give you some examples, you can automate your presentation and RFP and proposal creation based on what has been discussed in the call and the client context. You can create notifications, such as in this case. You can feed AI agents that's gonna like send emails and so on. You can nurture your outbound campaign, whatever you want. In this example, which is again simple, but to show how it works for a very specific case, when you have this event giving us, when it happens, all the data from a recording, in our case, we're going to filter on, we don't want the risk to be low, so it's not equal to low. And we want the team to be like in customer success to really like capture the relevant calls. And then we're going to extract all the call information and we're going to post in channels a specific, so in a channel that we call churner, a specific message. So if, I'll share again later, maybe to show because I didn't prepare it, shame on me. But basically you can see a specific alert popping in the Slack channel. You can even ping like teammate on demand and automatically, with all the information you want to report. And so in this case, this is what we build. So we have different sections: the risk, the opportunity, the recommendation, steps, and so on and so on. So I'll stop there because there could be a lot to say about all the automations. It was just to show a really simple case. If you want to explore, feel free to reach out. We'll also share the template afterwards. But yeah, insight templates and tables are good if you want to analyze insights quickly, but they're also really relevant if you want to give context to all your automation streams.
The one interesting question from Hugo, which is if we want to plan an extract report weekly, like for a regular coaching session, we must pass by an API. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, the webhook is really event-based. So whenever you have like a matching event, either dated or added, it's gonna fire. And so, for instance, if you list all this within a Slack channel or in a specific container, I can be you create Google Docs and so on, webhooks might work. However, if you really want to aggregate, like extract reports with aggregated data and so on, API will be helpful. It's not available right now, but it will be available within 1 or 2 weeks. And yeah, the two options, I think, Hugo, if you want to describe a bit more what you have in mind, because I get the two options might work in this case. It's just API, it's you gonna call Claap and so it's on your side, you do it. Claap won't notify you when there is an event. So if you have like a predefined frequency, like every week it works. And it's not only one recording at a time, it really lets you query several things and all your workspace with filters at a time.
Cool. So last thing I wanted to do to finish, which is about the top 3 use cases we discussed with our client. So as Robin told you, there are like really a lot of like ways to use like smart table. Just on the template gallery, there are like 51 templates already. However, I've been like testing a lot with clients recently, and this is really like the top 3 use cases that we are like really pushing at the moment. The first one is really about spice scorer. It can be really whatever like sales methodology you are using, like BANT, MEDDIC, and so on. But the idea is really about controlling the level of, I would say, like qualification by your sales rep. You really want to make sure that your sales rep are following a specific methodology. So as a coach, it's really a way to make sure they are following it. The second one is more about measuring the engagement from your prospect. So it's also pretty interesting for forecast assessment. And the last one is the one that we have like presenting so far, which is basically churn risk and upsell. So let me show you how it looks like. I'm not going to show you the last one since we already covered it, but I'm going to show you the SPICE and the demo assessment. So for the SPICE scoring, so what we have, it's basically a way to control if your sales rep are following the right methodology. So what it means that in that case, I can easily check if like for all the calls, for example, and I can filter like all the calls in the past week, or maybe like from a specific sales rep or on a specific deal and so on. I can quickly assess if the SPICE methodology was properly followed. So I can see that, for example, in that case, the situation and pain, this is something that we manage to consistently like get from the call. Kind of the same with the impact, but for example, as you can see, the D, which stands for like the decision-making process, this is really something that we have like a trouble like capturing during the call. So when using this table as a sales coach, it's going to be pretty easy for me to see where we lag behind in terms of adoption of the methodology and to plan my coaching and training session accordingly. So for example, in this case, it's more about mapping the decision-making process. So I'm going to work with my team on the type of questions I can ask to better get those informations during the discovery process. The second use case that works very, very well, it's more about measuring the level of engagement from your prospect. This is a template called demo assessment or demo engagement. So the way it looks like is that it's a way to easily measure the level of engagement from your prospect. It can be during a demo call, but also during like a discovery call and so on. So here we are going to assess like a few things from your calls, like the level of engagement, if the value prop that you are like presenting resonates with your prospect, what's the level of comfort with the pricing, like for example, in this case, you can see there is like something to deal with because the level of comfort is very, very low. What is the buying process to make sure that the buying process is very, very clear and that you have like identify all key stakeholders. And here you can also check if there is like a clear commitment for a next step. So here the typical use case that you want to do like pipe review and you want to quickly assess how the deals are progressing in your pipeline, and you really want to kind of check the boxes to improve your forecast. This is really something that works very well. And then the last one, as we already presented, is really the customer success template. This one, I really like it because it's a good example in terms of way you can play with the data, because it makes a lot of data type. So for example, churn risk, it's a select type with some color codes. Color codes, as I said, it's really, really efficient if you want to quickly visualize data. Customer satisfaction, it's paragraph type. Paragraph, it's really useful if you want to have like short text and something that you can visualize pretty easily. This one is a rich text with bullet points. And you can also, if you want, use bullet points with the timestamp in the conversation. If you want to use timestamp, it's really like the main goal of the bullet points is to easily find back key moments during a discussion. So typically, if you are doing like user research, you are trying to assess customer feedback or product feedback, this is the type of data I really recommend using. If you want to find those templates, it's going to be pretty easy. You have really all of them in the inside template gallery. And as you can see, you have a mix of scoring, qualification, coaching, and so on. Up. Any other question? And I see that, okay, we have Benjamin, we have the same video in French. No, but we can help. We can help here. up, and maybe unless we have other questions regarding the demo, I just wanted to cover like a few things because I think like this webinar, it's also a good opportunity to present what is coming next. So if you haven't tested, but we have like a couple of features we are going to release in the coming weeks. The first one is actually already available, but it's a new model for Claap AI. So Claap AI, as you know, it's a way to retrieve data across multiple calls. We've done some improvement in terms of quality of the data we extract and we summarize. And we've also improved the UX so that you can directly see the related quotes link to the type of question that you ask.
Maybe Pierre, like we'll have a dedicated follow-up on this in the coming releases, but maybe you can just show a quick example.
Yeah,
we are really proud of our new model, so you can really now ask whatever you want from your recordings at the workspace level. So maybe it works. Like I will just put it on Spotlight. Yeah.
yeah. So this is what you need to do. You need to go to Claap AI. Here, maybe like as you can see, if you are like testing it right now, you have two ways to display the data. It can be a small pop-in like this. On my side, I prefer to have it full screen, but it's really up to you. And then you can basically type any question. Something that is going to be important here is really to select the source of the data. So the source can be either like all the calls that you have access. It can be a specific channel, or it can even be a specific deal if you have already connected with your CRM. Let's say in that case, I want to select all the recordings in sales meetings, and I want to know like list all features, prospect, love about Claap. So it's going to retrieve data across all the calls I have in sales meetings and provide with like a summary made across all those calls. So it takes a couple of seconds, as you can see. So it's a lot of them. Up. So I have now my summary. I also have the different extracts from the calls, and I can easily access the right source and everything. On this one, same, if you want to explore like some prompt, you also have access to a prompt gallery if you click on this link here.
Thank you, Pierre. Unpinning your screen. I think it's time for the conclusion. Yeah, maybe one final word, and if you don't have any question, we'll stop there. But as you can see, so far our stream at Claap and priorities are to really let you, I would say, untap, unlock, leverage, mine, the verb you want, but all insights from your recordings, because most of the business signals happen in the recordings. But so far, what we observed with Claap is that most solutions out there don't really let you like really mine all this in a super flexible way. And so smart tables, smart columns that we showcase today, but Claap AI with the new model as well and the source linking. Tomorrow, the MCP server and the API that's going to be released before end of July. All this is really making an attempt as bringing you all these insights at scale, not only one by one, but really on demand for all the recordings in your workspace. And the next step for us that will start later in the summer will be really more on the automation side. As I said, learnings and insights is great, but we also want all this to be used to free your time, free up some time, and let you automate your work. We already manage that with a lot of features, CRM enrichment, emails, automatic emails, and so on. But now we also want you to be able to create your own use case streams and workflows. So that's going to be the next step of Claap. So I see one question. Okay, Pierre is answering. Yeah, I think that whenever you want to have a comparison, the best we can do is to give you like reference calls. If you have precise questions, no one will better sell Claap compared to our clients. But I would say that compared to Cockpit and Mojo, the main difference in terms of approach is the flexibility. All what we show you, we let you mine data, as we said, super easily and really based on what you want to extract, even retroactively. And this is really a specific angle that you won't find in these solutions.
Up. Does it answer your question, Paolo?
Yeah, we can do a quick clap, follow-up clap in French if you want, Benjamin. That's going to be a short one, but just to summarize what we said.
Cool. So I think it's the end of this webinar. So thanks a lot, everyone, and hope to see you very soon.
Yeah, just Benjamin, I need your, yeah, we can check later, but the best is probably to follow up with ask and we'll follow up with the support. We have normal phones to make cold and hot calls. Yeah, for that, we are currently exploring an opportunity of integration with a company. Definitely happy to help, Benjamin. Yeah, Paolo, for normal phones, it's not a problem. But if it's really like, if you don't use any solution like VOP solution, there are solutions that exist. And we are considering an integration with one of these. But yeah, we can probably follow up. I'm thinking about SIPSIM. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can leave, guys. No other question.
Thanks, Sandro.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.